do this video here. I've purposely have avoided doing a coronavirus COVID-19 video. A lot of people are doing it. A lot of people are talking about it, but a lot of us in this community have been talking about things like this for a long time. That's the potential of things that could happen. This is not a doom and gloom video either, so this is not the end of the world and all that kind of talk. But something that I have been thinking for several weeks now, and since really kind of the pretty close to the start of this, for us all hearing about it in the news and all that kind of stuff, is that this originated in that city of Wuhan, China. And most of us know probably by now that there is a biological research lab and facility there, and they have speculated that maybe it got out from there, because at first there was talk that somebody got sick from eating bat soup and stuff like that. Well, that is probably could be a possibility, but less likely. I mean, those people over there, they eat everything, and they've been eating everything for centuries. Now, the thing is, though, is that, but it happened to originate in that city. I personally think, and the thing that I have been on, that's been on my mind, is that this has been released or has gotten out of that lab somehow, whether it's on purpose or an accident. Maybe a test animal got into the market, or it could have been on. It could have been some kind of accident there. Got on somebody's shoe. Who knows? It could be anything. Somebody could have breathed it in, something. But I do believe this virus came from that research laboratory. Whether I'm sure in China everything is government and military controlled, so I'm sure that this research laboratory is tied to the military somehow, some way. Whether it's bioweapons, technology, things like that, I don't know. I don't know anything really much about the lab itself. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, and we're not going down that route either. There's all kinds of talk about a varied assortment of things, and we're not going down that route. We're sticking to what, this thought process of mine that I have right here is that I do think it came from that laboratory. Whether it was released on purpose or not, an accident or not, accidentally on purpose, I don't know. But that's my thought, that it did come from there, and the government, our government, knows about it, of course, and China for sure knows about it, 100%. They know exactly what happened, and you know how they are with releasing information and being accurate information, because, it sure did, close down a lot of stuff quickly over there. All those Hong Kong protests, boom, the streets are empty now, And whether accurate reports of things going on over there are true or not, I don't know. We don't know the facts on that. But I do believe that this virus came from that lab. And, I almost think that if it was done on purpose, that we'd probably have 5 times the amount of, infected people across the globe than we do now, which there's a lot. But also, too, though, is that, think about this, though. Just remember, like a month ago, it was really only in China, and it was a small amount of people, and they were quarantining the city of Wuhan and all that stuff. But you see within the amount of time that how fast this has spread globally. It is everywhere now. And some countries have failed to take action on it, and it has spread exponentially. Like Europe, for instance, they have failed to get a hold on it early on, and they're like crazy. We're trying to too. And the thing is that you can't get mad at Trump or anybody else for trying to stop this and it still spreads. It's a virus, man. I mean, you can do things to minimize it and to fight against it, but you really can't just totally stop it. I mean, that's the thing, though. But like I said, I believe that's where it came out of. And the reason that you see it spreading so quickly, because like I said, a month ago or so, month and a half, it was in China, and there was talk about it. Then boom, all of a sudden it is everywhere. And we have flights, thousands of flights in this world alone, coming from all over the place. And so yeah, it's going to spread quickly. Now, the thing is that the coronavirus that we have right now that's going around, if some of y'all are on social media and you can look on the back of your Lysol cans, it'll say coronavirus, it kills this and all that stuff. Everybody's like, oh, well, but this is a different strain. This is a different strain. This is why I think that it came from the lab too, is another thing that leads me to that thought process, is that it's been genetically enhanced, to be more serious, some kind of experiment going on with it, maybe to use it as a biological weapon against some country, military, whatever. And it is possible that that's what is happening as well. I mean, look at the economy and things. It is on, destabilizing and things like that. And I'm not trying to be a big, Trump, but you cannot blame him, or for this. If a virus is that we are seeing now, I mean, this is what's going to happen. It's not his fault, and it's whoever's fault it is the person that, the lab itself. That's where the blame should be on how that they had their containment, procedures and things like that, how that they have been contained it. And if it was released on purpose, then there is blame. And if it was an accident, then there's still blame and things like that. So somehow, some way, it got out. And it's caused a lot of havoc. Everything is being shut down. Everybody knows that last night, in my state, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Utah Jazz was going to play there, and they canceled the game. The whole season has been canceled. Now the NCAA tournaments have been canceled. KISS, me being a musician and stuff, I follow music still, former musician and bands. I am still a big metalhead, and listen to heavy metal and all that stuff, and follow a lot of that stuff. Listen, and still pay attention to all of that. KISS was actually going to be in Tulsa tonight. They have canceled their show until October. Now, we'll see if they come back in October, if this stuff is more under control then or not. That a lot of concerts across the globe have been canceled because of the coronavirus. And so a lot of countries are shut down. Italy is shut down. See, now if this thing gets worse, now here's my thought too, though, is that I'm in college town. I'm in a college town in my state, pretty big college, pretty well-known college, and that somebody walking by. Anyway, and that we have a lot of students from international countries. You know, there's a lot of Asians, a lot of Middle Easterns, a lot of European countries and things like that. Just, you know, it's just the way it always has been. That's just, it's college, you know. I mean, that's what all colleges have. That spring break is happening. What they've already done here is that after spring break, which is happening either next week, I think next week, is that after spring break and everybody goes home, does whatever they're doing, is that they have made it where there's not going to be any classes. Basically, campus is shut down. And this is, you know, from our college, OU, other colleges, it's just probably happening across the country. All I know is that, you know, in my state, this is just now happening, is that they're going to be online courses. So to minimize the spread of this, you know, this virus that comes out, you know, so, but people want it to be around each other. Now, I'm thinking that, you know, you already see people panicking, though. This is not, to me, I'm not panicking. And this is not a time to panic. It's a time to be concerned. It's a time to pay attention. It's a time to take stock of what you have. And if you're able to get anything that you need prior to anything else, then get it now, you know. And don't panic about it. But the thing is other people are panicking. And anything that you will need, you know, you see a lot of people stocking up on toilet paper. Well, this thing doesn't give you the shits, but at the same time, if a lot of places go into lockdown and you can't get out, then you're going to need toilet paper. But I don't recommend you going out buying 150 rolls of it, you know. All the sanitizers disappearing. I've seen it on signs of stores. You walk into like some of the local dollar stores or Walmart and stuff, there'll be a taped sign on the door saying that we're out of sanitizer. All that kind of stuff. So a lot of us that's been talking about these kinds of things and preparing and the preparedness mindset, you should already have a lot of this stuff. I'm not as prepared as I want to be. I'm sure a lot of you are not as prepared as you want to be, but that's the way it is. I don't think that, however prepared you are, I still don't think that any of us feel like we're as prepared as we want to be for things like that. We can just do the best that we can. But stay vigilant, because if it gets worse, this could lead to the huge panic and craziness that we have all talked about before. You see how people are going with their toilet paper. Wait till the food starts running out, because if things get shut down, we're talking about food in the stores will start disappearing. It already has in some places a little bit here and there, but it hasn't got to the point where it's just gone all the time. Now, if it gets even worse than this, then with trucks and things bringing in food and things like that, that's being shut down, then there'll be no more. This, like I said, this could be a bigger event than, you know, like I said, I am not panicking. Personally, I don't know if this is going to be as bad as the media makes it out to be, because the media really is, you know, pushing the scare. All of them. All of the media is. All of them are conservative and, you know, liberal alike. So, but just use your common sense. You know, the washing the hands and the sanitizing, you should be doing that anyway. It's flu season. Flu has already killed way more people, and it does every year, than this has so far at all. So we should be doing that anyway, all year round. It should be just common sense. So but stay vigilant, stay aware, and stay aware of what's going on and all that. And if it does get crazy, but look to where the fault really lies, though. It lies with China, and it lies with the research facility. It's not the fault of your local friendly Asians there in town, and things like that. It's not their fault. I've been seeing stuff about people are blaming them and getting angry with them. It's not their fault either. It's the facility that has let this loose somehow, and it's the Chinese government themselves who have minimized this, and with holding information back from the rest of the world, that has let this happen, where they couldn't let other countries have ample time to get ahead of it before them, like we are now, So we could have been taking steps 2 weeks ago, even 3 weeks ago, ahead of what we have now, because of their lack of information. So that's where the fault lies, and the blame lies is with them, not your local indigenous Asians. Even I've seen those guys. There's talk of them buying firearms a lot because they feel like they're being retaliated against. I'm all for them owning firearms. Hey, buy all you can, but it's not, it's not their fault. So don't look to them at your local friendly Asian market, as the source of your, as the blame, because it's not. It's the Chinese government and the research facility itself. So, but that's what I think. That's where I think it came from. That's, uh-oh, got a cough there. But that's where I think it came from, and that's where I think that the blame should be looked at and focused on, because it's a biological weapon, or it's been modified somehow. Either it's on purpose or it's an accident, or accidentally on purpose, if you know what I mean by that. And somehow it got out, but that's where the blame lies. It's not some bat soup somebody was eating in some market over there, because they've been eating bats and cats and dogs and horses and bugs and everything else for 1,000 years. Granted, you could get something from that, but you haven't seen anything like that really. But have you noticed that a lot of stuff comes from China first? Have you noticed that over the the H1N1, the SARS, and all this swine flu and everything? All these starts over there, and it probably does, a lot of that, have something to do with the foods that they eat and things like that. But anyway, that's my video. Is this a bioweapon? And has it been released on purpose, or has it been released by accident somehow? That's my main thing, and that's where I guarantee, not going to say guarantee, but that's where I believe, and a lot of things stem from that came from that research facility in Wuhan, China. So that's my video. Keep safe, keep your common sense, and keep it heavy. All in those orders. Take it easy.